there's two hip hop performances that I talk about from that era that literally to this day stand as the two greatest insanities I've ever seen in an audience, where the audience was gone. Audience was gone. One was Luke and 2 Live, the first time I saw them in
New Orleans?
In New Orleans. It was New Orleans, yeah. Like, I'd never seen anything like that. And the other was PE in London.
Which one? The first time?
The boot posse, whistle posse.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I
like
think he was over there for that particular
the
time.
maddest, most wild insanity that I had ever seen. It was like, what do you think you were tapping into? What is the thing you were reaching for and touching inside of people that was like setting that level of absolute frenzy?
Over there, don't be afraid to be you. And we knew that there was a certain restriction on people really being them. If they were black or a person of color, they had to still kind of like come in from the generation before and kind of pay homage to the queen more than looking at their Caribbean or African roots.
Oh, wow.
If they were from Scotland or Ireland or whatever, in London at the particular time, their parents had to be like, okay, was feisty and they had a whole bunch of things going on that they couldn't really be them.
Yeah.
I think that the young people at the time sensed it. You know, it's on the edge of the punk movements in the 70s and all that. So I think it reached a point, but the thing that we had going for us that we all kind of lay claim to the beauty of it is that hip hop was a brand new world approaching art form where, like the great Grandmaster Caz says, it didn't invent anything, but it reinvented everything.
Yeah, that's
you know
beautiful.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this introduction was not only just to a new audience, but also to the older audience with sort of like hints of, oh, I remember this, and they took it and flipped it like that.
Yeah. You did a show at Rikers Island, right? So.
And never did another prison after. They put out the all APB, like, don't let Public Enemy try to be like Johnny Cash. Keep these Negroes away.
What happened with that? How did that come about?
It was a beautiful day, man. It was like a way where they saw not only people who were incarcerated like nodding their heads, but we was basically like, yo, listen, this is like the worst place. But at the outside is even worse sometimes if you don't know where you're at. You know, like inspirational type of things. It's bittersweet because we leaving to go on tour.
Yeah.
And they still in there.
Yeah.
Fast forward all the way up to 2022 where Rikers Island, they have like these unprecedented deaths. You know, people there on barges instead of they close a facility, but people are still incarcerated on barges, and it takes about 3 months around it to get around to your case. And you might have got locked up for like a traffic ticket, and you were up there with whatever. I mean, it's such a mess there. They say trying to close Rikers down, but back then we was telling people like, listen, we don't want this to be part of the plan with people just tossed in and we think it's a normal thing. What handles the statistics of 100,000, and I'm being general at the stats, I don't know the exact stats, the 100,000 black men in prison in 1970 and 69 to 7 figures.
Yeah, for sure.
In the 21st century, and then 7 figures with people thinking like it's a rites of passage. Fuck no. I did Black Steel in an Hour of Chaos on a prison breakout that I got wrongly imprisoned in my song, since we have the right to be Steven Spielberg if we want to be that, right? And I wrote this, I got incarcerated because I was a draft evader. The whole key is like, it's not cool. Being hunted down like an animal ain't cool. But if you are kept away from learning knowledge of self and where you at and what the world is at the time, that you live in, you should always know where you at, where you going to. You should have respect to wherever you go to be able to say, I'm coming into your space, into your home. I'm gonna respect. I'm not coming like to take over your spot or whatever. I'm a visitor, and then maybe we can build, and that's how our community spreads. So our point is like, knowledge of self at least anchors you, and then you could pivot from there.
Listen to Class of '88 wherever you get your podcasts,